everyone. In this video, we'll be making a fluffy daisy keychain that is the perfect accessory to make your tote bags, fanny packs, sling bags, or even purses look more aesthetic. Don't worry if you're a beginner crocheter, I'll do my best to explain all the steps from making a magic ring to crocheting individual flowers and then sewing them together after stuffing with cotton. So let's get started. For this project, I am using a 3.75mm crochet hook and a 3mm hook, which is optional. Yarn of choice is a lighter shade of blue and off-white. Everything will be linked in the description, so check that out. Let's start off by making a magic ring. To do so, hold the end of the yarn between your thumb and ring finger and wrap around the middle and index fingers, making an X on the underside of your fingers. Lightly grab onto the yarn and grab your hook. Insert the hook under the parallel yarn, grab onto the inner one, pull it through, twist it, and then make a chain stitch like so. Now you can let go of the magic ring, chain 2 more times and start making double crochets through the magic ring. Make sure that all the double crochets are done over both of these overlapping yarns. These are the stitches here that we'll be working into and making the petals, and there should be a total of 15 stitches. 3 stitches per petal for a total of 5 petals. This is the first double crochet, which is basically the 2 chains we made at the beginning. We'll connect the last double crochet to the second double crochet so that there are a total of 15 stitches. Now let's get started with the petals by making a slip knot and joining the new yarn to the circle. Insert the hook through any stitch, pull through the slip knot and chain 1 to join. We need to make a total of 5 chains at the beginning of the petals. We have already chained 1, so let's chain 4 more. These here are called the back loop of the stitch, and this is where we'll be working our next stitches. Insert your hook into the first back loop, yarn over and pull through. Now do the same with the next back loops till you have 5 loops on your crochet hook. After that, insert the crochet hook into the same stitch where we started and pull through the 6th loop. Now, yarn over and only pull through the first 2 loops at a time. Chain 1 and then let's repeat the same step again, but now we need to have 7 loops on our hook. Inserting the crochet hook through the first back loop can be a little tricky, so take your time with it. And just for reference, these are the back loops that we'll be working through. Make sure that the last loop is through the same stitch as before, so we have 2 rows in one stitch. Chain 1 again and let's repeat the same process, but this time we need 8 loops on our hook. This time the last loop, that is the 8th loop, should be through the next stitch. For the next row, don't start by chaining 1 and basically repeat the same step as before. And the last loop, the 8th one, should be from the same stitch. With this, we are done with the 2 rows for this stitch. Don't chain for the next row and repeat the same step with 8 loops. The 8th loop should be from the next stitch. Now for the last row, we need 7 loops on the hook, so skip the first back loop and continue pulling through the remaining back loops, and the 7th loop should be from the same stitch. To finish off this petal, skip the first back loop and do slip stitch in the remaining 4 back loops, plus the same stitch like so. And with that, your first petal is complete, and this is essentially what you have to do for all the 4 remaining petals. To start the next petal, slip stitch into the next stitch. Chain 5 and repeat the process. Here is the pattern for the petal. Just repeat this and meet me back when you reach the end of the last petal. Slip stitch into the starting stitch and complete the petal. You'll need 2 of these for this project. To start joining, put the wrong sides together so that the right sides are facing out, that is towards you. For joining the 2 flowers together, I am using a 3mm hook, but you can use the same hook or any smaller hook that you might have. Start by inserting the crochet hook at the joining of the 2 petals, like so. For the second flower, I didn't cut the yarn, so we'll use that to join them now by inserting the hook through that loop and pulling through for a slip stitch. We'll be working on the outer loops of the stitches, so these here are the outer loops and we'll be inserting our hooks only through these outer loops. Insert your hook through the outer loop of the first flower, then the second, yarn over, pull through and complete with a slip stitch. Repeat this all the way around. This is how the first petal should look. Do the same for the remaining 3 out of the 4 petals so that we can fill the petals with some cotton or scrap yarn. After stuffing with the cotton, close off the open part. Now let's make this long loop so that we can hang it around the bags or other accessories. To make this, after you have made your last stitch, start chaining to your desired length. I made somewhere between 25 to 30 chain stitches, but you can just customize it to your liking. After making the chains, just join it back to the daisy with a slip stitch. Cut off your yarn and finish with weaving in the loose ends. And with that, you are done.